Okay, so I have done some hella research on the happiest place on earth, and I've uncovered a few macabre stories surrounding the place that I have wanted to visit my whole life. And after these things, I don't know if that's a thing I want to do anymore. So I've got a whole pizza, and we're gonna eat pizza, and I'm gonna tell you some fun stories. So first off, I have a story about the Haunted Mansion. Okay, so the Haunted Mansion, it first opened in the 1960s, and it literally was able to shock complete terror into riders, because at the time, it wasn't so normal to just, yeah, that's pineapple. It wasn't just so normal to just, like, not be afraid of stuff. The same way that we're kind of desensitized to things at this point. Like, they weren't. They didn't understand, like, scary shit. So, rumor speculates that Disney allowed a handful of people to go in and experience the ride firsthand before it opened, so they could get a general opinion on it before they actually opened it to the public. A man actually went into the ride and didn't come out alive. He actually had a heart attack in the Haunted Mansion. So, that postponed opening date of the ride back by a few weeks, and Disney ended up just changing the ride. And as far as that, I looked into more, seeing what was there before, because this is speculation, okay? This is just urban legend, complete myth. I don't know if this actually happened or not, but I looked in to trying to see what the original design was, and I couldn't find anything. Second up on my list, we have Discover Island, which is a concept. I've heard about it in the past, so of course I wanted to look into it. Okay, so it was an island that was actually, I have notes here, but I'm not going by them. So it was an island that Disney built within the park, and it housed animals, and it was like a pirate theme. But in 1998, I think, they finally shut it down because people were like, these animals are being abused, that's not okay, so we want this place shut down. So Disney shut down Discover Island and didn't really move anything except the animals. Like, everything is still there. So a photographer, a few years after, he went, like, swam through the fucking water onto the island and took pictures and shit. And there were still, like, wild animals living there, and, like, everything was still intact. And as soon as nightfall hit, the lights came on. Okay? So, he's photographing and shit, and he says that he hears growls, like, off in the distance, as if there are wild animals there that never got taken away, that just kind of, like, inhabit the place now, and they just live there. It's also said this island is where past Disney ideas and mascots and everything that's dead literally just goes to die. Like, it's just basically a graveyard or burial of some sort for all things past Disney. Third up on our list, I have a story, multiple accounts of It's a Small World, which is a creepy concept in general to me. I don't fuck with that. There's a theory by workers, like ride maintenance and like ride attendants. There's a man within the walls of It's a Small World that was actually an Imagineer years ago that got fired. So now he lives in the walls because he's homeless at this point and he's just kind of psycho. He gave his life to Disney and they fucked him, so he lives in the walls. And now, to distract them from finding him, he still controls the dolls. Say they get a little too close to his little hidey hole, he got some dolls over here that start moving. And I honestly don't believe it, but it's truthful enough. Like, that's kind of believable, I guess. Like, it's weird. It's that, like, that sense of, like, that's a little too abnormal to be truthful, but you're like, we don't fucking have answers to everything, so. Also, ride attendants claim that some dolls will stop working out of nowhere with no further explanation, and they think it's kind of like, the dolls, like, they're aware of their existence and they have a conscience and shit, and they're like, I don't feel like working today. And that's like a common thing among workers, is they just like joke about, oh, that doll doesn't want to do its job today, funny. Okay, so number 3 brings us to what I think might be my favorite on this list. Okay, so I didn't realize how common it was until I started reading into this, for parents to just like try to sneak their kids onto rides. Like, I heard this one about a couple trying to sneak their 6-month-old kid onto Space Mountain in a fucking duffel bag. So this woman tried to sneak her 2-year-old son on a ride under her jacket. She was like, oh yeah, I'm wearing my big coat and I'm pregnant, but I can still ride this because I'm not really that pregnant. And they were like, I don't know about that, but I guess we'll just let you. And then they put the lap bar down, and her pregnant stomach, starts hysterically crying. Like, what do you do in that sense? You're just like, ma'am, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. Like, what the fuck? And finally, an actual sad story to bring us home on, because I need to have something with some depth besides the guy having a heart attack in the Haunted Mansion. 2005, a 4-year-old boy died on mission space. So now, workers claim when they stand in the terminal that he died, they can feel a cold presence and just an ominous, like, something's there. They all have the exact same emotion. Like, they all, like, talk about having the same feeling in the same place. Plus, they'll queue for certain shuttle doors to open and they won't open. Or they'll queue for certain shuttle doors to close and they won't close. Like, no other further reasoning. It's just like phenomenon, and they blame this random 4-year-old boy that died. So I guess that's it. Conspiracies? I don't know. I just like Haunted Disney, so that's what we did. If you liked this, tell me. Give me some more ideas. I'll do some more research, because this also helps me, because I formally write everything down and then I just kind of read off the top of my head. So it's nice for me to be able to actually get out my, like, writing. I can formally write things and then just, like, express them in my regular vernacular. So if there's another, like, conspiracy type video that you would like for me to make, let me know. Thank you so much, and I love you.